So if you scroll down a bit in this file, you will see that I have an NUnit setup method. Inside of this NUnit setup method, I create a driver, and that driver is created using a WebDriver factory. That's an implementation that I created. You don't have to worry about it. What's important for you is this method right here, create sauce driver. I'm going to go ahead and go inside of this method and show you what it does. Now, of course, if you want to copy over this WebDriver implementation for yourself, WebDriver factory implementation for yourself, feel free to do so. But what you really want is this method. The reason I have a WebDriver factory is because I've been reusing the same drivers all over my solution, so I need a single place where these WebDrivers are created. But anyways, inside of here, the very first thing that I want you to pay attention to is now, rather than using a specific driver like Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Safari driver, or something like that, we are actually going to use a remote web driver. A remote web driver, if we take a look at it, it's actually an implementation of iWebDriver. So what that means to you is that everything that your Chrome driver or Safari driver used to be able to do, the remote web driver will be able to do as well. Check it out. You can see how there are all the find by methods. There are the find elements methods here. You can do stuff like get screenshots and manage and navigate, all that sort of stuff, which makes sense, right? If you're simply switching from a local Chrome driver to a remote web driver, you should be able to do all the same things and your tests should function flawlessly, and they do. And so that's the remote web driver that we're going to be using. As you can see, also the remote web driver has multiple constructors that you can utilize in order to return yourself a remote driver. So this is how we're going to use the remote web driver. What you're going to need to do is pass in a new URI object with this exact URL right here. This will tell the remote web driver to run the tests on the Sauce Labs cloud. Along with that, we're going to pass in a capabilities object, which I'll talk about more in a second. And then we'll pass in a time span. The time span is actually a command timeout, letting the remote web driver know after how long do you want a command to fail. So for example, if your test doesn't see a command for in this instance 600 seconds, then I want you to shut down the session and fail. So that's the time span that we're passing in. I like 10 minutes because sometimes you may actually be inside of Sauce Labs debugging and stepping through code. And so then you want this time span set to 10 minutes so that you can debug and play with stuff around and not have to worry about the session timing out on you because it hasn't seen a command for 10 minutes.